Now, the UK is poised to give the first shots of its AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine today. That's as the country grapples with a more contagious COVID variant. It's recorded more than 50,000 cases for the last 6 consecutive days. More than 50,000 cases a day. The Prime Minister Boris Johnson has warned tougher restrictions may be on the way, but the UK is making better progress than EU countries when it comes to administering the vaccine. So far, giving around 1 million doses out. France expects to vaccinate 1 million people by the end of January, but it's far behind that target. President Emmanuel Macron is reportedly angry over the slow pace of delivery. How slow? Well, look at this chart. Total doses given out, 516. That's only 516. Bloomberg's Maria Tadeo joins us from Brussels to talk a little bit about this. And I think, it's shocking how few people, I feel like I personally could have vaccinated more people than that, given some syringes and doses in the last week. Why is it so slow in France, Maria?
Well, Matt, there's a number of reasons, but this is clearly very problematic because if you look at the number of vaccinations that we've had in the first week since the rollout, it's very clear that the French are not going to get to 1 million vaccines by the end of January. Flat out, it's impossible. On a daily basis, you would not be able to hit that number if you stay in the hundreds. It's that simple. And, of course, the economy and the economic rebound is depending on that. The reason why this is happening, it really is a combination. First of all, you could say there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of the administration that's becoming a problem, but it's also the politics of this. The French government went into this saying we don't want to force anyone into getting the vaccine. We don't want to play it too tough because we know that people are skeptical of this vaccine. The confidence in the vaccine has actually slipped since the rollout, and there's this whole anti-vax movement around that is perhaps going to be a problem. Let's just go easy on people, but clearly it's not looking good when you look at the numbers, and it's clearly not good either when you look at the public confidence on the vaccine. It is becoming a big problem, and we understand it's been repeated in the French press. The French president is not happy with this and says that this needs to be changed and it needs to be remedied quickly and in big numbers. But again, it's a question mark given the track record, although I should say it's only been a week.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that the vaccine skepticism that we've seen in France relatively stronger than it is in other parts of Europe. We'll see how that develops because enthusiasm for the vaccine in some parts of Europe has been increasing as we've seen the rollout take place. Maria, what about other parts of the reopening the economy story that we're seeing across Europe? And sticking with France, I know there were plans for reopening restaurants and gyms. I mean, the weather certainly isn't counting, or the seasons are not counting in Europe's favour right now. What are current expectations as to when we see things reopen?
Yes, Anna, there's a lot of speculation this week again on the French media suggesting that they're reopening for restaurants, and this is a key sector and also a very powerful lobby, as you know, in France, will not open on January 20th, given the way that the pandemic is going. As you also know, there's a number of regions now that have gone into a curfew that starts earlier, now that being moved into 6 p.m., and it does show that at least for the time being, the direction is that we're not reopening. If anything, the restrictions are going to stay in place, which is a very similar message to that of Germany, where Angela Merkel has said we haven't really put this pandemic under control. In the United Kingdom, where now the Prime Minister clearly says there will be more restrictions to come in the next few weeks.